Greetings and welcome back to the channel, and welcome if it's your first time here. My name's Johnny. I'm an artist and I do videos like this from time to time. This particular video is responding to a comment that I recently received on a video that I did on some Emerson knives. And the question was, how does the Commander compare to the Recon 1? And I did kind of answer the question in the comments section. I basically said that I have taken the Recon 1 out and thumped on it. I've never taken the Commander out and thumped on it, but having said that, I think this is a fair question because there are some similarities here. They are kind of close. Obviously, there's vast differences as well, but it's a good question. It made me think a little bit when I put these knives together side by each. One of the things that is an obvious is the price. The price is drastically different between these two knives. By the way, this is the Super Commander. The Super Commander, in relation to the Recon 1, the size is very, very close. The price is going to be very, very different. I believe the Super Commander is going to be far more expensive than the Recon 1. You can always check down in the comments and let me know. Another big difference is this is a liner lock and this is a triad lock. Many of you are going to say that the triad lock is much stronger, and I would tend to agree as well. Like I said, I've thumped on this one. I've taken it into the woods, did some splitting of wood, nothing major, enough to make a coffee. I would expect that from the Recon 1. I don't know if I would do that with the Super Commander. Obviously, I haven't. I've done many Into the Woods videos, but I've never taken the Super Commander out. So anyways, there's a couple of differences there. I chose this particular Recon 1 over my Tonto version in that it's not a hollow grind, so it's flat from here to here. This one is flat from here to here as well, but also a little bit of a different in the edge in that we've got a chisel edge on the Super Commander. So there's some differences, but when it comes to from this point here to the tip and this point here to the tip, I give it to the Super Commander only by a couple of millimeters, and then from the G10 right to the back here on both, I'll give it to the Super Commander again by about 3 or 4 millimeters. I'll be running some screenshots along through this video or some other B-roll or whatever to sort of capture some of the things I'm talking about. Now on this particular steel, we've got 154 cm, and on this blade steel, we've got S35 VN. So back to your question, how does it compare? This blade steel, I think, is better than the 154 cm. Some people are going to argue with me a little bit on that one. You always get that in the comments, but the 154 cm, I think Emerson is using it for a very specific reason on ease of maintenance, perhaps. But I would obviously have preferred S35 VN in here as well. Now, as far as the G10, they're both out of the box extremely grippy. The Super Commander, I lightened it up with a little bit of sandpaper just so it wasn't so aggressive. And this one here on the Recon 1, I did not do that. It's just out of the box aggressive. So if you value your pants, this one is going to chew it up a little bit more. Mind you, so will this one. I did soften it just a little bit. So what else is there to compare? Obviously, the blade shape on the Commander is vastly different than the Recon 1 with the clip point. The clip point has a ton of use, I think, or a lot of uses, application. The belly, it was easy to sharpen, easy to bring to a nice mirror polish, super sharp. Got a nice little sharpening choil. And of course, depending on your sharpening skills, it's going to be a little bit more challenging when you get into some recurves and stuff like that. But if your sharpening skills are good, this is not a problem at all. I prefer this shape just the way it grabs things when you're cutting a cardboard box, for example, or meat, for example, on the counter, it just really, really digs in. Whereas I don't quite get the same kind of bite here. So subjective, yes, but my personal preference would be this shape between these two. I really like this shape. Opening, both of them are a little bit of a flick. You got to give it just a little bit of a wrist to kind of get it started, but they both open up pretty easy. The detent on the Super Commander is an older model. I don't know if they've changed it, but it's not very strong. So not a very strong detent there. And on the Recon one, not a very strong one either, but there's no way I'm actually, like it's opening a bit, but snapping back, right? Here, if I did the exact same force, that's what happens. But on a shake, which I want to do behind the camera, no problem. So just a shake open, they both open pretty nice. Like I said earlier, you got the straight up liner lock versus the triad lock. I've seen lots of videos, really old videos of people torture testing this guy here, and it survived extremely well. So don't know. I don't know why anybody would beat on their knife like that anyways, but it should be able to make you a coffee, in my humble opinion. This one here, again, I've never taken it into the woods for that purpose, but who knows? You never know. It might go out there one day, but for now, I just enjoy carrying it and opening boxes, cutting loose pieces of thread, etc. When it comes to the fidget factor, if that's what you're into, I think they're both equally fun. You know, I've always had fun with the liner lock and the frame lock as well. So I know there's a lot more modern takes on all that these days, but if you follow this channel, I'm not really interested in any of that stuff. I do like the old school stuff more than anything. Talked about the size, the tips. Okay, so the tip is much thicker and stronger, I think, on the Commander, Super Commander, versus the Recon 1. So if tip is very important, you know, back to your question, how do they compare? Well, you can see for yourself, the tip is much thinner on the Recon 1. Pocket clips. Neither of these pocket clips are anything to, you know what I mean? There's nothing special driving. These are both old school clips. You can really see that in the Commander nowadays. When I see something like this now compared to some of the videos I've been watching of the newer stuff out there, it's really old school. But again, I still prefer this over the new stuff. So you got a little bit more sticking out of your pocket, but that's fine because it gives you something to pinch onto and grab onto. And they both have the wave opening because, well, I've modified this one, but the Super Commander comes with the wave. I don't know if they make a Commander that's waveless, but I do prefer this, and I do like having these wave features. I even put the little ties on my Spydercos because I do like waving them open. So what else you got going on here? Maintenance. Pretty simple, really. You just got a screw here. These screws here can be kind of touchy, so you don't really want to overuse those too much. Mind you, I've never had a problem, and I've taken them apart, cleaned it. I've even polished this. This used to be black just like that, but actually I've never had any issues with the Super Commander, and I've carried it for many years. I bought this, I think, in around, I want to say 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. And This guy here, same thing. The thing I like about the Recon one is you can take it apart. I've shown many videos on how you can soften this lock so it's not so painful. Some of them can be kind of stiff. And I've done some modifications too. You know, I've kind of put a little bit of a satin finish on here and here, just to sort of help blend it in a little bit with the satin on the blade. To me, it looks kind of nice. It's better than that really high, crazy 80s chrome that they got going on sometimes. It's a little bit more subdued. So, but you can do that with pretty much anything, the modification factor, that is. And, you know, overall size, I guess angle of the camera can be misleading, but, you know, there you go. Just a few millimeters on the Super Commander, right? So, and the blades are very, very similar. So how does it compare? If you're a collector, you're probably going to have both, like me. If you're buying a knife and you've never owned a knife, which is very rare. If you're watching a video like this, it's very rare that that's the case. But let's just say it is. If it's your first knife, I would probably lean towards the Recon 1. Affordability for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Outside of that, I would highly recommend this knife as well. Now, if you live in Canada, where I do, you can't get these anymore. You can't go into a brick and mortar store and buy one of these, and you can't get them online. You have to go straight to Emerson. And it's harder to get them up here now. So, yeah, if you're liking the Emersons, stick around to my channel because I've got about 9 of them, and I'm probably going to be selling quite a few of them, if not all of them, except this one. I might hold on to this guy. Anywho, what else we got going on? We got lanyard holes on both. Nice G10. The ergonomics on this one are fantastic, and the ergonomics on this one are fantastic. They're both really good. So yeah, now there is a Commander size. It's a little bit smaller, this one. It's probably going to be a little bit smaller than this guy, or it could be even closer to exact, but I'm not sure on that one. You're going to have to do a little bit more homework on the regular Commander versus the Super Commander. But I doubt very much that the regular Commander is as close in overall as it is in this comparison here. The other thing I really like is the 154cm. I mentioned earlier, it's maybe not as superior as the S35, but you can really get a screaming edge. And very easy to maintain. Customization, you can do little things like this. I put on a 45, I think it is a 45 on there. And I've done that to all my Emersons. Yeah. So anyways, I hope that kind of answers your question. I know I answered it a little bit in your comment. I basically said I have thumped on this one, but not on this one. So, but I'd follow up with a video for you. I don't know if you're subscribed to this channel or not. If you're not, obviously you're not watching this, and others are. If you are subscribed to this channel, please let me know down in the comments if this video helped you in any way. Outside of that, bye for now.